At birth, a Bernese Mountain Dog weighs barely over 1 pound, so fragile it could fit in the palm of your hand. Yet, within 24 months, it transforms into a 100-pound mountain of strength and loyalty, carrying centuries of Swiss working dog heritage in its veins. Missing the subtle milestones in this journey can mean missing the real story, the triumphs, the setbacks, and the deep bonds that shape both dog and family. What truly unfolds in the first moments, the first days, and the first months? And why does each stage matter so much more than most owners realize? A litter of Bernese Mountain Dog puppies enters the world in near silence, each one smaller than a loaf of bread, eyes sealed and limbs barely able to twitch. Their bodies, weighing just 16 to 20 ounces, are fragile, so delicate that even the warmth of the room is a matter of survival. Breeders prepare for these first hours with care, lining the whelping box with thick, clean blankets and monitoring the ambient temperature to keep the environment steady, usually between 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit for the first few days. Newborn Berners cannot regulate their own body heat, so they rely on the gentle heat of their mother and the close press of their siblings. The mother's instincts guide her as she nudges and licks each puppy, stimulating their breathing and ensuring their first meal comes quickly. Every breath and movement is watched closely. Breeders weigh each puppy daily, recording even the slightest gain or loss. A healthy newborn should steadily increase in weight, doubling in size by the end of the second week. If a puppy loses ground or grows cold, the response is immediate, extra warmth, careful bottle feeding, or a vet's intervention. The pup's tiny hearts race at more than 200 beats per minute, their bodies fueled by the rich milk that only their mother can provide. During these early days, the whelping box is a world unto itself. The puppy's senses are limited to touch and smell. They crawl blindly, guided by the scent of their mother and the warmth of her fur. Their paws, impossibly small and pink, knead softly as they nurse, each movement a sign of life and hope. The soundscape is gentle, occasional whimpers, the rhythmic licking of the mother, the soft rustle of blankets as puppies burrow for comfort. For the breeder, this stage is a quiet vigil. Hands are gentle and movements slow, always mindful of the puppy's vulnerability. The focus is on stability, keeping the environment warm, the bedding dry, and the puppies close to their mother. Each day brings small victories, a steady weight gain, a contented sigh, a peaceful sleep. These moments, though subtle, are the foundation for everything that follows. The balance between fragility and resilience plays out in the hush of the whelping box, where life is measured in ounces and hours, and where every detail truly matters. A faint glimmer of light catches in the corner of a puppy's eye. At just 2 weeks old, eyelids begin to part, revealing a cloudy blue gaze that blinks at the world for the first time. The change is subtle at first. One day, the litter shifts in near darkness. The next, tiny eyes flicker open, searching for shapes and movement. Vision arrives gradually, but it brings a wave of curiosity. The whelping box, once a landscape of scent and warmth, now fills with new possibilities. Paws stretch forward, uncertain but determined, and noses twitch as the puppies begin to recognize the outline of their mother and the shifting forms of their siblings. Movement grows more purposeful. Instead of crawling blindly, they start to wobble upright, tumbling over each other in a clumsy dance. One puppy, bolder than the rest, attempts a wobbly step only to topple softly into a brother's side. Another, quieter and more patient, watches before joining in, her first steps measured and tentative. These early interactions set the stage for lifelong personalities, some pups quick to initiate play, others preferring gentle nudges or quiet observation. The box becomes a stage for gentle wrestling matches, paws batting at ears and tails, small growls and yips echoing as confidence grows. By the end of the first month, the changes are unmistakable. Each puppy now weighs between 12 and 24 pounds, their bodies filling out with solid muscle beneath a soft, downy coat. The litter's energy surges in short bursts, followed by deep, contented sleep. Feeding time is a spectacle. Eager noses jostle for position, and the first hints of competition emerge as stronger pups nudge their way forward. Sibling bonds deepen through these shared moments, but so do the first signs of rivalry, gentle and never harsh, present in every playful tumble. The world outside the whelping box remains distant, but the puppy's senses sharpen with each passing day. They respond to the sound of footsteps, the change in light as a door opens, the gentle touch of a human hand. Their personalities begin to shine through. One might bark at a sudden noise, another might hide behind a sibling, peeking out with wide, curious eyes. These small differences hint at the companions they will become, each with a unique spirit shaped by these earliest days. As the puppies grow stronger and more aware, anticipation builds for the next chapter. Soon, the first visits from future owners will bring new voices and scents, setting the stage for the bonds that will last a lifetime. For now, the litter revels in discovery, every blink and playful pounce a step away from helplessness and closer to the world beyond. A green collar slips around the puppy's neck, a new sensation that draws a puzzled shake and a quick scratch behind the ear. The leash follows, clipped on with gentle hands, and suddenly the world expands beyond the familiar corners of the living room. At just 2 months old, the Bernese Mountain Dog puppy weighs nearly 25 pounds, but every step on the leash is tentative, each tug met with wide, searching eyes. The owner crouches nearby, coaxing with a soft voice and a bit of cooked chicken, rewarding every forward step. The leash practice is brief, just a few minutes at a time, always ending on a positive note. Routine becomes the backbone of these early days. Mornings begin with a trip outside, the puppy's nose pressed to the grass, learning to associate the cool air and familiar praise with the right place to go. House training demands patience and consistency. The owner stands by, ready to celebrate every success with a cheerful word and a treat, reinforcing the lesson with each repetition. Mistakes happen, but scolding is never part of the process. Instead, the focus is on gentle redirection, guiding the puppy back to the right spot and offering encouragement. Inside, the house is dotted with chew toys of every shape and texture. By 4 months, teething begins in earnest. The gums ache, and the urge to chew is relentless. A sturdy rubber bone becomes a favorite, gnawed at with determination until it is slick with puppy drool. Redirecting this energy is a daily task. Shoes are moved out of reach, and furniture legs are protected with bitter spray. Each time the puppy lunges for something forbidden, a toy is offered in its place. Over time, the puppy learns what is fair game and what is off limits, the boundaries reinforced through repetition and praise. Training sessions are woven into play. The owner calls the puppy's name, crouches low, and waits for the moment of eye contact before giving the cue, "Come." Each successful recall is met with a celebration, sometimes a treat, sometimes a joyful romp around the yard. Sit, stay, and down are introduced gradually, always paired with hand signals and gentle guidance. The puppy's attention span is short, but the lessons stick, especially when they end with a favorite game of tug or fetch. Bonding deepens with every shared ritual. Quiet moments on the couch, a gentle brush through the thickening coat, or a nap with the puppy curled against a warm leg, all build trust. The owner learns to read the puppy's body language, the wag of a tail, the tilt of a head, the soft whine that means it is time for a break. In these early months, the foundation is laid for a partnership built on patience, understanding, and joy. Each day brings new challenges and small victories, the puppy's world growing larger and more secure with every lesson learned. A blue collar circles the puppy's neck, but it is the wall chart that marks the real transformation. Each week, a new line climbs higher, tracking a growth that feels almost impossible to keep up with. At 4 months, the Bernese Mountain Dog already weighs 45 pounds. By 8 months, some tip the scale at 85. Limbs stretch, paws balloon, and the once roomy bed shrinks beneath a body that seems to double overnight. The puppy's coat thickens, soft fuzz giving way to the beginnings of the breed's tricolor pattern. Every growth spurt brings a burst of motion, gangly sprints across the yard, clumsy skids on hardwood, and wipeouts that leave both dog and owner laughing. Clumsiness is the norm as the puppy's body scrambles to keep pace with itself. This is the age of the growth spurt, and with it comes a new set of challenges. Nutrition becomes a careful science. The owner measures out large breed puppy food, watching the calcium to phosphorus ratio about 1.2 to 1.5 to 1, knowing the wrong balance can strain developing joints. Each meal is portioned by weight, aiming for 25 to 30 calories per pound of ideal adult weight. Overfeeding is tempting, but restraint is essential. Too many calories can drive growth that outpaces the strength of bones and ligaments, setting the stage for orthopedic problems. Protein sits around 28%, drawn from quality sources, supporting muscle without overwhelming the kidneys. The food bowl is filled 3 times a day, each serving measured, table scraps ignored. Playtime moves outdoors, where the world grows larger and more unpredictable. Socialization is as important as nutrition, each new canine encounter building confidence and teaching boundaries. The puppy barrels toward a group of older dogs at the park, tail wagging, legs flailing. The puppy learns to read signals. A stiff posture means back off. A play bow invites a chase. These lessons are sometimes messy, but always vital. The owner watches closely, ready to step in but willing to let mistakes happen, knowing that learning to navigate the pecking order is part of growing up. Exercise is a careful balance. Short, frequent walks replace long runs. Stairs are avoided, and games of fetch stay gentle. The puppy's joints are still soft, growth plates wide open, and a single misstep can mean months of recovery. At the vet's office, a calm voice explains the risks. Giant breeds like the Bernese are prone to hip and elbow dysplasia, especially if allowed to jump or climb too soon. Supplements may help, but nothing replaces prevention. Owners monitor weekly weight gain, keeping it under 2 pounds, and call the vet at the first sign of a limp or swelling. As the weeks pass, routines shift. The owner adapts, trading plush beds for sturdier mats, swapping out chew toys for tougher versions. The puppy's world expands to new parks, busier sidewalks, and a growing circle of canine friends. Each interaction, each measured meal, and each awkward tumble is a step toward adulthood. The growth spurt is a marvel, but it is also a reminder. In a breed built for strength and endurance, patience and care are the foundation for a healthy future. At 9 months old, the Bernese Mountain Dog stands on the edge of winter, body stronger and taller, mind brimming with its own ideas. The first snowfall arrives as a blank canvas, icy crystals dusting the yard, transforming every familiar scent into something new. The puppy, now heavy-footed and bold, plunges into the drifts with a burst of energy, nose buried deep, tail carving wild arcs through the air. Snow sticks to the beginnings of a dense adult coat, the black rust and white fur thickening in patches along the shoulders and chest. The cold seems to awaken something ancient, a memory written into the breed's Swiss mountain roots. Each leap and paw swipe in the snow connects this adolescent dog to generations bred for life in the Alps, where weather was never an obstacle but a calling. Yet with this surge of confidence comes a new kind of challenge. Training, once a game, becomes a contest of wills. Commands that once brought instant sits or eager recalls are now met with hesitation or outright defiance. A sharp whistle is ignored in favor of chasing a snowball, and the leash feels more like a suggestion than a rule. The owner's patience is tested as the dog pushes at boundaries, sometimes forgetting lessons learned just weeks before. This period is not regression, but a natural part of growth, a test of consistency and mutual respect. The adolescent Berner is learning the limits of independence, discovering how far it can go before being called back. Physical changes are just as striking. The muscles along the back and legs begin to fill out, giving the dog a sturdier, more adult frame. At 10 months, the Berners' weight can reach over 70 pounds, with males often outpacing females. The once fluffy puppy coat gives way to the beginnings of a full guard coat, the tricolor pattern deepening as the undercoat thickens for winter. Even the paws, massive and snow-packed, hint at the size still to come. In these months, the need for discipline grows alongside the dog's independence. Walks become lessons in patience, with each distraction an opportunity to reinforce old commands. The first snow is more than a seasonal novelty. It is a milestone that ties the adolescent Berner to its heritage and reminds both dog and owner that every challenge is part of the journey toward maturity. A steady stride replaces the bounding leaps of adolescence as the Bernese Mountain Dog enters adulthood. The once awkward limbs now move with quiet confidence, each pawfall measured and sure. At this stage, the dog's frame has filled out, a broad chest and strong legs supporting a body that, for males, can weigh anywhere from 80 to 115 pounds, and females settle between 70 and 95. The tricolor coat, now fully developed, gleams with a richness that only comes with maturity, thick, weather-resistant, and unmistakably Bernese. The household settles into a rhythm shaped around the dog's calm presence. Morning walks become a family ritual, the leash clipped on with practiced ease, the route familiar but always welcome. The Berners' head turns at the sound of children's laughter or the rustle of leaves, but the wild bursts of puppy energy have given way to a composed curiosity. Meals shift to adult formulas, introduced gradually, 10% at a time, until the old puppy food is replaced completely. The portions are measured, now focused on maintaining a healthy weight and supporting joint health, rather than fueling rapid growth. Each bowl is set down with intention, the dog's gaze steady and expectant, the bond of trust deepened by years of shared routine. Grooming, once a brief encounter with a brush, becomes a cherished ritual. Every 4 to 8 weeks, the thick coat needs a thorough combing to manage shedding and prevent mats. The dog leans into the touch, eyes closing as tufts of fur drift to the floor. Bath time is approached with patience, towels ready and water warm. The process is much about care as it is about cleanliness. These moments, quiet and unhurried, reinforce a connection built over countless hours together. The Berners temperament, shaped by years of gentle guidance and consistent boundaries, settles into its final form. There is a dignity to the way the dog greets family members, tail wagging in slow arcs, eyes bright with recognition. Loyalty is no longer a lesson to be taught, but a presence that fills the home. The transformation is complete, not just in size or strength, but in the quiet assurance with which the dog claims its place in the family. In the golden light of evening, the Berner stands at the ridge, coat rippling in the breeze, every inch a testament to the journey from fragile newborn to steadfast companion. Today, as thousands of families welcome Bernese Mountain Dogs into their homes, every new puppy faces the same critical first 2 years, years that shape health, temperament, and the bond that lasts a lifetime. With large breeds, early care and patience aren't just tradition, they are a necessity. The journey from fragile pup to steadfast companion reminds us that growth is fleeting, but the trust we build endures. Thanks for watching.